This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Mass media is a medium of communication intended for a large audience. It is a form of communication that involves broadcasting messages through the use of modern technology such as television, cable television, radio, and print media, among many other forms. Additionally, today, the Internet also falls under this category of mass media due to its wide use in the current era of globalization, which is a factor that has contributed significantly to major developments in the mass media through advocating for freedom of the media in very diverse ways. This research paper will focus on the concept of mass media in general as well as its impact on today's society. Roles and importance of the mass media. In most cases, the mass media targets a huge market, the whole population of a given country, and sometimes the entire world's population. However, this depends on the type of media and the mission it has been established to achieve. The local media is designed to cover only a small population in a given demographic region, such as a province or a country. As such, it is entirely responsible for covering local outbreaking news and sensitive issues such as the region's national political activities. On the other hand, the international or more extensive media is responsible for delivering reliable and investigative news updates, global political activities, and even sporting activities that are happening across the globe. This category of media includes the well-known BBC, CNN, and Reuters, among others. Due to the fact that media is a public phenomenon, it is, therefore, the responsibility of the mass media to offer quality services to the general public by covering various and diverse topics that are happening. One of the main responsibilities of the mass media is to keep people informed of what is happening around them. This is because the public, in general, needs to know what is happening within its environs, so, in general, the mass media will investigate the happenings on the ground and present the facts to the people in order to inform them of what is happening. This explains why television, radio, and print media are mostly filled with news ranging from political activities, past events, documentaries, sporting activities, and other informative news. Apart from informing the public and updating about recent and breaking news, the mass media is also responsible for entertaining the general public in many areas. The mass media has a variety of entertainment programs for all groups, ranging from cartoons for young children to movies or films for the older generation. Through such entertainment programs, which are offered in a wide range, the mass media is able to create a balance of events and give the public a break from the stress of life. Additionally, the mass media is also responsible for educating the public and, therefore, keeping them enlightened through various programs that are offered by the mass media, such as scholarly opinions about various topics, including HIV and AIDS. Other educative programs include educational programs usually scheduled on national television and radio to teach the public on diverse topics. The negative influence of the mass media. As much as the media is generally responsible for enlightening society, on the other hand, there are numerous ways through which the mass media is negative to society in general. To an extent, the same mass media has a negative influence on society. In this section, we shall review the negative impacts that mass media has on society. There is no doubt that the Internet is obviously one of the most negative forms of mass media ever invented, as well as one of the mediums with the greatest potential, which is why it has made it one of the most widely used media in society today. The Internet has a significantly adverse effect on the younger generation in the community. As a matter of fact, today's parents are engrossed and extremely busy with their careers and businesses to spare time and bring up their children. This is one of the reasons that children end up being exposed to bad media. As a result of children being left home alone, some of them get access to the Internet and watch violent films, pornography, and negative music videos. This causes the child to develop physical, emotional, and psychological stresses that influence their personalities in very negative ways. Some teenagers spend a lot of time watching such movies and films and even reading magazines that contain such bad characteristics. The impact is that they become victims themselves and end up using drugs such as marijuana or even engaging in sexual activities, which usually exposes them to more and worse dangers such as exposure to premarital pregnancies, the risk of being infected with deadly sexual diseases, or even becoming drug addicts. For the reasons mentioned above and many others, the mass media has been criticized by the public and human activists, who are now calling for amendments to the laws that regulate mass media to be made stricter so as to protect vulnerable persons in society. One such way in which the mass media has been criticized is how it presents information to the public. The media, for instance, has been described as too topical. This is because the mass media has a way of presenting information, especially news, when informing the public by covering only news within that given range. For instance, if they present local news, it will not focus on other exciting stories, but strictly on covering such local news. Recommendations. Due to the existing criticism of media, the mass media should improve its service delivery since the people are its main market. There are numerous ways in which the mass media can work towards this. This crisis can be resolved through listening to the views of their customer and engaging and actively interacting with the customers so as to understand their desires. In addition, the media should be transparent, apply the concept of authenticity when serving the customers, and always provide the customers with immediate responses at all times. This essay on mass media impact on society was written and submitted by a student just like you. The IvyPanda Samples database hosts thousands of works similar to this one on various subjects. Visit ivypanda.com to find what you are looking for, free of charge.